Good evening, everyone. We will be starting in a few minutes.
Presents wrapped in gifts they hide. If dreams are wrapped in boxes, would we keep them locked inside? As a child I wished for endless joys. I believed my letters would turn into brand new toys. Life has made me wise, but here at Christmas time I catch a glimpse of light behind my childlike eyes. Who says there can't be magic when the world's in doubt? Who says there can't be joy when the lights go out? While the hope is in the air and we love more than we fear. Who says there can't be magic all year? Forgotten plans no longer seen. Below my disappointment, I uncovered my old dreams. A string of lights no longer glow. It only takes one light bulb to illuminate the whole. Life can be so hard, but Christmas helps me start to see I'm not too far away from my childlike heart. Who says there can't be magic when the world's in doubt? Who says there can't be joy when the lights go out? While the hope is in the air and we love more than we fear. Who says there can't be magic all year? Who says there can't be magic?
Okay, let's see. Bibi, you ready to do this?
Oh, yes.
All righty.
We came here to play today, you know that.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Sorry, my lighting is a little bit off. It looks like I have this, glow and aura. Think of me as a, celestial asset manager. That's the theme I'm going for today. So, thank you guys for joining us. This is the Multifamily Freedom Chasers community. I see so many familiar faces. I don't want to assume that everyone knows who we are, what we do here. I think I have the slides up. Is there anyone joining us here for the first time? So I don't presume. Maybe if you can look at the chat / waiting room, just in case someone comes in. Let me try and get the
Almost.
generic slides up. Alrighty. So was there anyone that's new? Put a 1 in the chat. Me, hi, hello. We have special gifts for new people. No, I'm just kidding. We don't. I'm just trying to incentivize you. So Multifamily Freedom Chasers, for those who don't know what this community is and what we stand for, it's a group of young men came together. The intent and the goal and the vision is to activate 9-to-5ers. And, if you're not a 9-to-5er, you're welcome. We don't judge you. But the goal is to activate folks in their journey towards financial freedom through multifamily apartment investing. And so this group got started, I would say, about a year ago, and all they had at the time were activation Zooms, which held on Sunday. If you joined us last Sunday, we had Tim Mai on, and I think we have a bit of a capital raising series going on this month, this period, because the next guest we're having on is also focused on raising equity. And so on Sundays, I think right now it's about every other Sunday, we have what we call the activation Zoom. And then alternating Mondays, we would either have broker calls with Pete and Ed Shamirian. And then on other Mondays, you have the asset management queens. You're welcome. Bibi and I, all our Zooms tend to be at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then on Tuesdays, we have Will, Aldo, and Ed again doing a napkin underwrite. So you've learned to talk to brokers, or talking to brokers may or may not be your thing. You want to be able to quickly tell if a deal is a deal. And so they walk you through how to do a napkin underwrite. And then on Wednesdays, we have our debt broker family, the Miles family, share with us the current state of the debt market. And the goal of this is there's no upsell in this community. Hopefully you get enough of a foundational knowledge that you'd be able to get to one of 3 pivotal points in your journey. Give me 1 second. All right. Enough to say, yep, multifamily is not enough, it's just not it for me, it's not meant for me. Or you could say, yep, I've learned enough. Let me just let some people into
Make me a co-host.
I'm sorry?
Make me a co-host.
Oh, I did. Do you have 2 profiles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Oh, let me finish sharing this slide and I'll do that. And then you could get to a part of your journey where you know enough to make reasonable, wise, intentional decisions about investing, but you don't want to be on the active side. Or you could also know enough that you say, yep, being an active investor, being an active operator is it for me. So the goal of this is to get everyone hopefully to that level. And then once you're at that level, you can turn around and then pour back into the community. This is not a mentorship. We're not selling a mentorship or anything like that. So let me stop sharing. Give me 1 second, and then I'll make Bibi co-host. Maybe I made your other profile co-host. There we go. All right, let me take a peek at the chat. I do have a few. Oh, Rita, is this your first time? Welcome. Alina, welcome. Kim, welcome. I'm so glad you could join us. Thank you for being here. So if you guys don't know, we've been running these series for a few weeks now. It's alternating. And I believe we ended at week 4 or week 5. Week 1 was an introduction. And so our first week we did an intro, and then the other week we talked about the plan, we talked about monitoring, and that's kind of where we stopped. So Bibi, do you have anything you would like to say before we dive in?
No, I'm just excited and happy to see everyone here. Today is not our typical webinar. We initially did not want to do this today because we wanted to give everyone the opportunity to take this week for Thanksgiving. So that's why we decided, okay, instead of not doing anything, let's do a question and answer period. That means anybody that has something that maybe they've been facing on their deals or things that they need answers to, this will be the right time for them to ask us, and we'll answer those questions. So I'm super excited to be here, and I can't wait for us to dive in.
Awesome. Do you want us to hold on 1 second? you want to see if anybody in the audience has a question, or do we?
Let me just give them a summary of what we've been doing. You said it, but let me just expatiate while you're opening the slide for me.
Okay.
From the beginning, we were addressing different aspects of asset management. And let me reiterate what we said in the last few weeks for the benefit of those of us that have not been there. We kind of divided our section into 4. And the first is plan. As an asset management person or a team, you need to plan. And there are main things that falls under plan, which is the business plan, the budget, and reforecast. We were able to define what a business plan is and who prepares the business plan. The business plan is not the 30 pages, 50 pages business plan that they normally tell us to prepare when we are about starting our business. No, this is just an eye-level business plan, just a single page. And in that, you are describing the assets, you are describing the market, you are describing capital needs. We gave you all an example of that during our previous webinar, how to write, how to create high-level business plan. And we also informed you, who do you give that to? You give that to your property management company. And it's with that business plan, they know what the idea is and they can set a budget with your business plan. So business plan is very critical in anything we're doing, any business you're doing, not to talk of an asset like this. So we also discussed the budget. We said, who creates the budget and at what time do you create the budget? How often do you review your budget and all that? These were the things we discussed in our last episode. So for us, who creates the budget is the property management company, but there's a but to it. They create the budget, but you don't just leave it as it is. You have to see if that budget is in alignment or it aligns with your pro forma. Don't forget, you did your underwriting. You've promised your investors a particular return. So for the fact that the property management company is creating the budget, does not mean you allow them you just approve it that way. You need to see how it aligns with your goal and see how you can negotiate or walk things through before it's been approved. So we also showed you a sample of how our budgets, how we reviewed them, what we're looking at, and what were the things we were reviewing in those budgets. We showed you a sample budget on 2 of our properties and all that. We did all that. Then also, we also stylishly talked about reforecast. What is reforecast? For the fact that we've created a budget, for the fact that you've created your business plan, and not just your business plan, for the fact you created your budget does not mean that you don't review it. Things might happen along the line, and you might decide to review it in your year 2, or after 6 months, you might decide to review. So those things are reforecasting. That means you are you are trying to reproject, okay, that based on the new reality, this is what is happening. And I can give an example of that. Remember, for as many of us that had deals in 2020, 2021, you know that if you've created your budget, I'm sure that we were off the budget, especially for those that had floating rates, or those that some of us, it was the taxes went up, insurance went up. So it's period like that, you need to start reforecasting and seeing ways you can adjust your budget and all that. And how often is it done? Budget is done every year. So assuming you have your fiscal year starting in January and it ends in December, that means by October, November, you should be sitting down with your property management company to be discussing the next year's budget. It's just like the way you treat a typical business is the same way you treat a budget. So I don't know if you have any.
Sure, no, that was a good recap. Thank you for that. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to share a particular document and see if you want us to dive right into that.
Yes. Last week we spoke about key performance indicator, and we showed you guys the importance of key performance indicator, and we also showed you guys the importance of what do you call it? If you remind me, the importance of going through comparing your profits and loss every month.
We talked
Yes,
about the mission as well.
Yes. So please hold on.
I could tell a joke, but I only know dad jokes and my kids don't find them funny.
Sorry, guys. My kids are on 1 week holiday, so it's like it's been a disaster since morning. So I had to mute myself to tell them to be quiet. So pardon me. So back to what we're saying. So it's very important, like I said, things we should do for our to monitor our business is weekly. We need to check. We need to weekly have meetings with our property management company to go through your KPIs, and also monthly you need to also compare where your profit and loss is. You have to compare it to what your projection or your budget, whatever that your budget was, you need to compare it on a monthly basis to know if you are in track with your business plan. And remember, I said, if you don't do that, it's going to have a ripple effect on your 1 year goal. If you don't correct it now, it's going to have an issue. You're going to have an issue when it gets to 1 year. And let me give you an example. 3 weeks ago, one of our properties, like I said, I will be giving you the journey of some of our properties. And we told you that we're going to fire one of our property management companies. And we did that. Yes, we did. So after firing the property management company, we had to reconcile the account, and they slammed us with $56,000 that we're owing them. And the next thing we did, we didn't say anything. We just said, okay, fine, give us some time. So we called don't forget, I also said that the structure we have for asset management team, we always have a financial person on our team. That is an accountant or a bookkeeper. Very, very important. You never can underestimate the importance of a bookkeeper or an accountant on your team. The person necessarily doesn't have to be on your team. You can employ someone like a virtual assistant to work with you on that. But on our deals, we have someone on our team that handles that. And the person saved us $51,000 after this entire process. And I'm going to share that with you now. So like I said, property management company slammed us to $56,000. So because it was time for us to review our profit and loss with our actual, we decided to do this. So this was what they presented to us. Okay, so on this place, you will see the gray area is what the property management company said. And the red is we are the ones countering it. And you can see a lot of notes to show you that our accountant or the person on our team is really, really efficient. So she was comparing everything with the actual. And look at what they did. And if you go down, you will see a lot of discrepancies. This was our renter income. No, please go up. This was our renter income. This is it. Fine. The loss to lease, theirs was 16, ours was 14. Resident vacancy 32, right? When you come here, you see that we have $2,000 gap here. Here, they actually said we did not have any money, and she was able to detect that this was being owed to us. Also, our other income, if you go there, you see the difference, the total income from 194 to 186. Please scroll down towards the end. So at the end of this exercise, still go down. At the end of this exercise, you can see the difference that we have here. But there were some other documents added to it. In it, we're able to save 51,000, almost 52,000 plus, just by doing this. So this is one of the ways you need to monitor your goals or your KPIs. This is a KPI metric we have. It's a monthly KPI. Is to monitor our income and our expenses, and our property management company slammed up with something very high, and we're able to detect, because we do this on a constant basis, how our accountant was able to detect that there were some things that shouldn't have been, was because she's been monitoring this property for a long time. So every month we go through this, we know the numbers. So it was difficult for this for our property management company that slammed us with this to come and tell us something different, because we consistently monitor our income and our expenses. This is very important. Imagine if we just accepted what they said. They slammed us with 51 this month. Another month, somebody slams us with another 40,000. You keep doing that. Before you know it, you will not even cash flow. All your money will be gone based on errors and discrepancies. So it's very, very important. No matter how good you think these people are, you need to double check. You need to check what they're doing. Even our best property management company, we still see some discrepancies in our profit and loss. So it's very, very important you do this consistently on a monthly basis, and you review your other KPIs on a weekly basis. With that, you'll be sure and you'll be able to prevent unnecessary crisis in a year.
Okay, Bibi, I have a question on behalf of the audience.
Thanks for sharing. Yes.
Okay. So, are we suggesting that when a team is being put together, they need to have a bookkeeper or an accountant? What if they don't already have one? Because I can imagine a team thinking, okay, great, we're already, we've gathered together, the four valiant or three musketeers were together, and nobody has bookkeeping experience. Would you recommend they get someone on payroll?
Yes, I recommend that. If you guys don't have the expertise, I would recommend you get a virtual assistant or someone that's on your payroll that's doing your bookkeeping. That is a role you cannot afford not to have, because we are talking numbers.
Yeah.
And numbers are flying every day. And don't forget, you are not in the day-to-day operations of the property. So you need someone that is catching the numbers every day, every minute, every month. And only an accountant can do that. I'm very good with numbers, but guess what? I do not have the skills that an accountant has. When I'm in a meeting, I leave her to do her job, because there are questions there are some discrepancies I will not even know. And don't forget, once an account is not balanced, it will show from numbers. So they are very, very critical on your team. You need to get them. Very, very.
Right. And Daryl, full disclosure, she's a general partner. So it so happened that when Bibi structured the team, she had an accountant as a general partner. On one of our other deals, we have 2 accountants, I think.
Yeah.
And we have lawyers as general partners on both deals. When we have contracts to be reviewed, anything that has legal lingo, before you start paying off your contract attorney, why not have your general partner who's there, putting their own little sweat equity in and review things, redline things for you. Okay, so she was able to do this. How long, I guess, so this is my question based on what I've experienced so far. So accounts are reconciled every month. How long should that process take?
Oh, sometimes it takes us 2 weeks. It takes us a week plus. It has never taken us less than a week, because you're going back and forth with the property management team that's in charge of accounting. And these people are busy people, so you need to book for them to be available. You go back, you come back, you talk. It takes us a week plus, sometimes 2 weeks to reconcile an account.
And okay, and that's been the experience. And so my question is this how it's going to be all through, or are we ever going to get to a point where the accounts are somewhat auto-reconciled, and we're not going back and forth talking about pennies on the dollar, and everything that needs to be done is placed in the, you know, if there's something that's meant to be in CapEx, it's actually placed in the CapEx section, not above the line, but where it needs to be. Do we get to any part where this just automates itself and we don't have to keep no, you're shaking your head.
It's a continuous process. You know
Okay.
why? Because when the moment you let your guards down, something can go wrong. And the thing is, spending money and getting money in assets management is continuous. Every time you're getting money from your tenants, every time you're spending money from your tenants, so money is going out and coming in. So since those things are still ongoing every day, then why do you want to stop the process of reconciling it to ensure that everything is properly done? It's a process that will not end till you sell off. Even after you sell off, even after 3 months, 6 months, there's still some reconciliation you're doing because there's some charges that comes in after you sell. So it's still ongoing even after you sell for a little period of time. So there's no hands off there. You have to, you have to put his hands on. You have to put your hands on it every month.
Interesting. I know, yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that, you know, even 2 months after we had acquired these assets, we're still going back to the seller to get X, Y, and Z. In my head, I thought the money was all lost and gone and he would never respond, but apparently it doesn't work that way. So that's great. Guys, if you have questions about anything asset management, feel free to throw into the chat. I represent the new to asset management committee. And so those are the types of questions I'm asking on your behalf. If there's anyone here who's a property, I know so every once in a while we have property managers on the call. Anyone who's a property manager, or you already own assets, you've gone through the asset management phase, you're curious about it, or you have a seminar that you would like to share, something that didn't go as well as you would have liked, raise your hand, put it in the chat, and we can talk about it. All right.
Yes. While we are doing that, let me talk about the that, you know, you were saying something about we having a lawyer on our team. And the reason is very, very important. You cannot underestimate that kind of person on your team because they have a lot of legal terms, especially when you're doing your contracts with your property management company. Everybody, including you, will want to do a contract to favor you. That is the human factor here. So I'm drafting a contract. I must make it favor me. And once I know that it's going, because you're drafting it is favoring you, I have to counter it and ensure that there's a balance. So you need someone on your team that can see those items in a legal way and bring in the middle point in it, meaning that somebody on your team should be able to tell when something will go wrong or something will put you in trouble. I've seen cases whereby a seller will tell you that it's not liable for gross negligence. Is there? So meaning that they can wake up one morning and decide to underperform or just ignore some things and they will not be responsible. Why will I sign such agreement? That I say a seller, a property management company is telling me that they will not be responsible for gross negligence, you know. So different things you see in it. So you need to have someone on your team or you pay someone that can help you go through your documents. Don't just sign because you might just be signing your death sentence.
Gotcha. Let's see. So Isabel has a question. Your hands are raised. Go ahead, Isabel.
Hi, ladies. Thank you for doing this again. Good to be here. I was curious if I know that can be done differently, you know, by depending on the operating team. But how do you guys do when you're taking over, when you're just starting? Do you start the asset manager job start at the due diligence? Can you talk a little bit about that and, you know, from the beginning?
Yes, I hear these questions very often, and this is what I say based on my experience. You cannot really separates the asset manager from the person that has the vision or the underwriter. And let me tell you why. They can be two different people, but they must work side by side, because the person underwriting the deal is kind of providing a business plan for that deal. An asset manager is a person that's going to operate or fulfill the mission of that deal. So it's like you can't separate them. So the role of an asset manager starts from the beginning of the deal, because you cannot manage something that cannot be managed. How do I mean? Imagine someone underwrote a deal and the person underwrote it wrongly, very, very bad. The projections are very, very wrong, and they hand it over to you as an asset manager to manage. There's no amount of effort you put in it that will make it work. It's not going to work. So at the beginning, an asset manager is supposed to start from the beginning, because let me tell you what is happening at the beginning. You are checking the market comps to see if your projections, if those numbers will be hit in a year time, in 2 years, in 3 years. You are also checking what your competitors are doing. You're checking the market trends at the beginning and what likely is it going to look like in the next 2, 3 years or 4 years or whatever time period. So if you're not in line with that person that has the vision or whoever is doing the underwriting, then there might be a disconnect. So at the beginning, you have the property management company, you have the asset team, and you have whether the acquisition team all together working side by side. So for me, it's fortunate that I underwrite my deals. I also manage my deals. So in that way, one person is doing those two roles, but I've seen cases where it's divided. Some other person underwrites the deal, some other person manages the deal. What is important that they work together from the beginning, because one person is like the visionary, the other person is the missionaire, in quotes. Remember, the vision is the goal. The mission is how you intend to execute and to get your goal. So whoever that person is must start from the vision, whoever that person is. So you start from the beginning, do your due diligence together, know if your plan will even work in the first instance, before you can now say, let me operate it, because we know that it can work. So everything starts from the beginning. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, no, I put in the chat, that's great, because I know some other operators that start just the operation, and I'm like, I think it starts before, I think it should start before, and be hand in hand, everybody in sync, like you said, look at the business plan, look if the underwriter could underwrite, but he could, he's a person too, he could make a mistake, or you could see something that you had questions, and this is not going to work because of this down the line. So I really like to hear that you guys do it all together. Yeah, thank you.
It's a teamwork. That's what we always say. This is one thing that I always hear from Ify. She says the most important thing on a deal is the team.
Yep, it is.
So this is a teamwork. Everybody must work together from the beginning, and not at the end. You see some people saying, no, it has to come from the beginning. The same like property management company. Some people bring them at the end when they are in escrow or when they are about closing. That is the worst mistake you can make. The worst mistake you can make, by bringing in your property management company at the end of your acquisition or midway your acquisition. Because first of all, the property management company is supposed to be, when you are doing your underwriting, they are the ones that will verify the numbers. Don't forget, last 2 weeks, we talked about how to source for a property management company. If you've done that and you've done that properly, you've been able to understand that these people know the onion of their job. They know the markets, because first of all, they must understand their market. They must know what is going on in that market. These are the people that will give you an insight on what is going on. Like I said, CoStar cannot give you an exact overview of what is happening in a local market. Let me repeat again.
Correct.
CoStar or whatever kind of app you have cannot give you a detailed understanding of what is happening in the local market. Real estate is local. And let me tell you why that is true, because a good property management company does something regularly. They check their competitors. They call it rent.com. They go around quarterly, some do it monthly, some do it quarterly, some do it twice a year, to know what their competitors are doing. And that is how they set their rent increase or whatever thing they want to bring, maybe new improvements. That's how they set it. Whatever my neighbor is doing, let me do it and get the rent. They do that. So because they do that on a consistent basis, they know the market. They know what market A is doing and market D is doing. When we're closing on our deal in Fort Worth, during the period where we were with our property at the beginning stage, the property management company knew all the comms. He knew their owners and their property managers. He called like 3 right in front of me. I was asking them, what is your rent now? What are people charging? Then and then, he didn't even have to go too far. He told me, he said, Bibi, you are going to get so amount for a 1-bedroom, so amount for a 2-bedroom, based on what I'm hearing now, but give me some time. So let me do a deeper research, and I'll get back to you. So these people are very important people that you must work with from the beginning.
It's funny you say that, because we had the exact opposite experience on the other asset, where we were telling the property management company, this is what the competitors are charging, and they said, no, it's not true. And we said,
Exactly.
we have inside information, and they said, can't be. So
Exactly.
yeah, those are red flags.
Red flags.
Red flags. You know how we talked about questions to ask when looking for a property management company? I don't know if we really touched on, okay, what if I'm new in asset management? How do I find a good asset manager? It's not like they have
property manager, property manager.
No, asset
manager.
So in other words, if I was either new in asset management, or I bring equity to the to the table, I'm going to be a GP, and I want to, the one piece that's missing from our group is an asset manager. How do I find myself another Bibi? What questions am I going to start asking? What questions would you think of, or would you want to entertain to say, yeah, I'll manage so and so's assets?
I will tell you the questions they ask me, because
okay.
Sometimes when you see me, you would doubt if I can do anything, So I come to some people as inexperienced. So when some people just see me without even having a conversation, they just feel I do not know what I'm doing. So I'm being slammed with a lot of questions. So some of the questions they ask me is, what makes you so sure you can handle a property? That is one. And they ask me, how many years experience do you have? And the other question is, what are the KPIs you set for your properties? And the next thing is, they want to see the financials of the properties I've managed. So I had to prove and show. I had to give them, these are my, my resume. These are things I've done. These are the financials of the properties we've run and all that. So those are questions when you are looking for an asset management team. Let's say you're a newbie, you're looking for someone to spearhead the team, then you need to know if they're experienced, what kind of success rates do they have on the properties they are managing. For the fact someone, in quotes, let me tell you this, for the fact someone has done a full circle does not mean the person was successful. I've seen people selling off due to distress, not because they properly managed the property. They sold because they were desperate, not because it was time for them to sell. So that does not qualify someone as someone that is experienced, or someone that is qualified to be your team head. So you go beyond that. You need to know the properties they've managed. You need to know what are the progress they've had, their financials, and know that what were the KPIs they set, what were the challenges. Because truth be told, anybody that comes to you as if nothing has ever happened, it's been sweet from January to February, from December to another January, they're lying to you. properties have challenges, but how you intend to mitigate them now becomes your success. How you intend to manage those issues, because you should understand these are services, they are not tangible products. And one thing about things that are a service product is human. The human factor must always show itself. So, you know, when you're managing human, you must have issues. There will be a lot of challenges and all that. So there will be a lot of challenges and all that. So it's important that you know their challenges. I'm not afraid to tell you how many times I've failed, how many times I've succeeded, and how many challenges I've not been able to overcome, or how many times I've cried on my deals, or how many times I've been happy or rejoiced or shouted, you know. So these are things you need to take it a little more personal to know things, not because they completed a full circle. No, that's not just it. Go deeper and find out more things.
Okay. For assets that maybe, you know, distressed and no, not distressed necessarily, so not stabilized, right? What are some tips you can give in trying to rev up occupancy? I know it's deal specific, I know it depends, etc. But what are some things that can be done?
Okay.
Yes. I know it's very random out of the, you know, no
it's
question.
Okay.
What are some things that can be done?
Yeah, guys, let me tell you something. Full disclosure, I told her, don't ask me something that I cannot answer. That's why she's trying to be very careful. So, no, but really, when a property is unstable, what am I looking for? I'm looking at the occupancy, traffic. Traffic would be my major point, and the conversion rate. That means I want to know what is driving people to my property and how I can improve on it. And not just what is driving people. I've seen cases where people can come for all I care, but the conversion rate is 0.0001 conversion. So that is an issue. So I'm not just looking at traffic, I'm looking at the conversion rate. Is it 25%? Is it 50%, 90%? And I'm looking at the units. Like if I have a mixed unit, like I have 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms, I'm looking at them as an individual, not as general. So for example, when I'm looking at my unit statistics, which has to do with all my units, I'm checking the performance of my 1 bedroom versus my 2 bedroom versus my 3 bedroom. And that can also give you trends. Like what we noticed when we're looking at the one in Fort Worth, we noticed that our 1 bedroom was completely full and our 2 bedroom is struggling. And that is to tell you that the trend is changing. The economic crunch is squeezing people. So people are kind of moving into a smaller home and managing so that they can pay their bills. So that's the trend I am seeing based on the unit statistics. It says a lot of things. So aside from trying to make the property full, I'm looking at trends from that. I'm also looking at the traffic from that and the conversion rate. So for example, if I don't have issues with bringing people, that's to say that maybe I don't have issues with my advertisement or my marketing. That means my marketing might be doing what it's supposed to do. Now, the question now becomes, why am I not converting people? It might be due to presentation. Maybe your leasing manager is off. She doesn't know her job, or he doesn't know his job, or they don't know how to present it well. It might be based on the, what do you call it, the pricing. And if I am really focused on my traffic, I will know if my pricing is the problem based on if I look at my property individually. Because in that point, I'm going to ask, if I have people coming in and the property is in good condition, my property management, my leasing officer is doing what she's supposed to do, or he's doing what he's supposed to do, then the next question is, what is the market doing? It now tells me that my pricing might be off. I might need to adjust it. So those are the things I look at when I'm trying to make a property stable. I'm looking at the traffic. I'm also looking at my work order. So I also want to know why my existing tenants are leaving. Is it because there was something I told you guys in our last webinar. I said the most important person on an asset is your current tenant, not the new ones, not the ones, the prospective ones, the ones you have. So, for example, imagine I have 90% of them and I'm just looking for 10%. Won't it be wise for me to take care of my 90% and gradually look for ways to increase maybe to another 5%? But imagine if I'm just concentrating on the 10% and I'm not taking care of my 90%, I'll end up losing them as well. And it becomes 60%, then we are done. So now the point here is I'm looking at my work order because that is something that directly affects the tenant directly. Work orders, most things don't affect them. They're paying their, let's say they're paying their rent. What services are you giving to them? That means I should be able to attend to their needs as soon as 24, 48 hours, no more. And it should be constant communication. So we had a deal under contract. It was 100% for the last 5 months. Well, a month to our closing, we lost about 9%. Guess why? Because the landlord, the owner, the seller removed his hands, took his hands off, and there was nobody to respond to their needs. So the tenants were skipping. The tenants, they refused to renew their lease. They started leaving. So we lost 9% just within 1 week. This man has owned this property for more than 12 years. But because of 1 month's error, he lost 9%. So that work order is very, 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 very important. So when I'm looking to make my property stable, I'll check my traffic, I'll check my work order. Not just that, I'll also check my my curb appeal, my advertisements and all that. I'm going to check, but those 2 things I just mentioned are very, very critical. Then let me just limit it to that anyway, but those
Right,
2
so
things are very
I'll tell you another reason why I actually had that question. I remember vividly when I was starting off, the script that we were taught to give brokers when we're making those broker calls. We were taught to ask for stabilized assets. So I knew the word stabilized before I knew what that even meant. I didn't really know what it was saying, but we're asking for stabilized assets, right? Is there a particular level of occupancy that would not be a turnoff for you? What is a deal breaker for you? Because I've seen you, for crying out loud, you went into something that was 68% occupied and now it's 90, right? I would never have touched it. I would have gone next, next. Is there a certain percentage or level that is a complete turn off? I can't handle this. There's no comeback from this. This is a war zone. This is a danger zone. There's something wrong here. I'm not even going to take a look at it. So this is asset management, but this is also bringing up the underwriting piece, because that's the point that you're making this decision when you're underwriting a property.
Very, very important. Like when I'm doing my underwriting, I don't just do the numbers, I do the market itself. So why am I checking the market? I'm trying to see, is the market even appropriate in the first instance? So if I'm sure that my market does not have issues, that means there's the right population. We also have the right tenants or the right people, maybe they're paying them very well. The media income is good. We have the many number of employees, great market, everything. Once I've checked those boxes and everything checks out, now when I'm doing my underwriting, that now helps. So the next thing I'm doing is, what is actually the question I'm asking is, what is the problem? Why did the current owner, why was it not able to fill up this property? So what do? I get to ask questions. I want to know the story. What is surrounding this? So the next thing I'm doing is asking the broker or the owner, what happened? Why do you have your property at 68? then that's when they start to tell me, oh, we didn't have a property management company. I'm managing it from New Jersey, so there's nobody on ground. Oh, then I now know, oh, it's a property management issue. Fine, check. Or I ask them that same question and they say, they don't know. They've done everything that they need to do. The thing is not just working, you know, and all that. Then I start to think about the pricing. Is their price double the market? Maybe that's why nobody's leasing them. So I also try to look at that. So for me, a deal breaker is not 68. I can go into a property that is 20% when I'm sure of the market. One, when I'm sure that there's an issue, because what we are trying to do is to address a problem. If you're going into an asset and you're not fixing any problem, then what are you actually doing? You know, so the bottom line is for us to add value and get returns in exchange of putting that value. So when I say property that's 20%, that means there's an opportunity to add value. Now, does the market permit that value? Yes. Is the market projected to grow? Yes. Now, do I have the right property management company that will help me take this? Because this property has a property management issue. Fine. What are the value add I can add? Maybe the property is not even in good condition, you know. What are the things I need? Do I need to rehab the property, and what returns will that give me? So many questions you'll be asking yourself when you are doing your underwriting, and you get answers to them if you're asking questions. I do not just do underwriting in one day. My underwriting takes months. In short, if you know, I give you different versions of underwriting for the same deal. I've done like 30, more than 30 for one deal, because I keep asking questions, and those questions are the ones that now firms up my yes to know if I want to go ahead with this. So asking questions will make you know if you should go ahead with this. Then also, there's something we also don't want to do is the debt is very, very important on this deal. Like, you are trying to make a property stable. Remember, if you are buying it at a very high price, or you don't have the good debt for it, you might come in with the intention that you want to increase rent. And that alone has already pushed off all your customers. I mean, all your tenants, or whoever wants to come in will not be able to. You are trying to address, okay, I paid so much for this property, I need to gain it upfront. But the market is not allowing you. So many factors are in it. And when you are doing underwriting, you will see them. It will be clear. Although there are numbers, but there's a picture in it. You see it. If you are doing the right thing, you will know what the issue is and know if it's something you should take up.
Awesome. Thank you. Isabel, hey.
Hi, can I ask another question?
Absolutely.
Sure,
This is a
Today's
Q&A
question and
session.
Go ahead.
So do you hire somebody to do the market analysis before purchasing, or do you guys just not just, but rely on, I didn't mean the just there, rely on websites, you know, that I'm blanking on the names now, but
Okay, should I go ahead?
yeah, no, I'm trying to remember the name, but it doesn't come to me. So no, not CoStar, like for the market analysis, like to know, I mean, the income in the area, you know, how many people are moving to there, the geographic status, things like that. Do you hire somebody, or do you just, again, rely on the websites?
Okay, it's a combination of different things for me. Okay, so we use CoStar for some to give us the general overview, but sometimes I go as far as the county. I want to know what the county is saying. So I've had different meetings with both the Dallas County, like when I wanted to do a low-income housing in 2022. I did not look at CoStar to give me that report, because I don't know what report CoStar will give to me. What I did was to call the county to know the demographic of homeless people or low-income people, what's going on, what's the trend like. And with my 30 minutes interview with them, I was able to get my answers that there's a serious problem. and not just serious problem, that means a serious opportunity. And from there, I was able to get access to their voucher, and they were able to tell me that based on the zip code in that area, this is the amount they'll be paying. And when I compared it to the market, I was able to find out that they were paying higher. So now I go beyond Costa, because Costa is very good. I won't tell you that it's not good, but sometimes I don't get, because it's still the human factor, somebody is still the one doing this, trying to update those data. Sometimes those data might not come in on time. So it might not give you the actual state of that market at that time. For example, our PA market, we got a lot of pushbacks from investors, from people. People did not even want to invest on that deal because they were going to Google, they were going to Costa, and they were searching the market, and they found out that in Costa, the market was declining. But because I've been in that market for years, I knew that that was not true. So in order for me to, because I know that for a fact, but my partners do not know that. Ify did not know that. Many people did not know that. So what did we do? We decided to go to the county. I took them, we all went on a trip. Let's go here, don't leave Costa alone, leave this alone, leave that. Let's go hear from the people that are actually operating. These are the people governing this area. Let's go hear what they are saying. What are the data they are pulling? And we got there, and it was a different ballgame. So Costa was here, and what they were saying was here. And because I was in the market, I knew what they were saying was true. And truth be told, we are in it right now. That's what's happening. We are seeing the traffic coming in. You know, so I will advise that you go beyond Costa. You can do your own research. You can visit properties, ask questions. I actually had someone on our team call all the competitors himself to find out what exactly they were doing, what the market is doing, asking some very friendly questions. Why do you think, okay, you are doing hybrid. Why are you doing hybrid? Oh, the markets, we have more people that are family-like people that want to stay on our property. That has told you something. That means the age group is changing, because before now, the age of that demography was 30, 32. When you are seeing family moving into a just flowing into a particular area, that means the age demography is kind of changing. And these are people with children. So you should be looking at people from 35, 40, 45. 50. It tells you something entirely. So go beyond Costa, because Costa has failed me twice. And we are in those deals, and I have weaknesses here that will tell you that the investigation we did is a lot better. So have Costa to give you a general overview, but go beyond it and verify your things yourself. Either you use your property. The property management company is very, very critical. They know things that you don't know, especially if they are local. Don't go and bring somebody, or have a property in Texas, you won't go and bring somebody in New Jersey. No, that's not what I'm saying. If you're in Texas, get someone in that that knows what they're doing in that location. That will tell you that no, this environment is not good. Don't do it. Don't. And try as much as possible not to be emotional. And listen to them, but ask them why. What are they saying that you are not saying? So property management company can help you to do a lot of due diligence, or a lot of market research that you don't even know, and also learn to read articles. Although not all markets are the same, market is local. Don't forget, if you go away with anything, remember that every market is local. It's not.
What did you say? Read what? Don't read what?
Read articles, because there are some financial updates that comes up about multifamily, about the economy, both micro and micro economy. Try and read those things. It will give you an insight of where the market is moving, to give you an insight. So I try to, I'm not a book, I don't know how to read books. Forget the book you're seeing behind me, and I can tell you I've not read it. I'm a co-author, but I've not read that book. For real. But I read articles. Yes, truth be told, I read a lot of articles. I read a lot of things to know what the market is saying on a constant basis. Very, very important.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Bibi. Yeah, we did on the storage deal that I told you, we did I called myself the storage nearby the competition and got the pricing and all that. So
Exactly.
but I think I'll do the county too. I didn't think about that. Yeah, the other sites that I was thinking wasn't CoStar, but it will come to me, and then maybe I'll ask that to you on a separate.
Oh,
There's some
county. Okay, go ahead.
No, I think I know the site you're talking about, and I don't know why it's escaping me. But there's some, Bibi, there's some all these global sites that can tell you, migration patterns, etc. Those things
Exactly.
for the most part they hold true.
Yes.
They really do. But I really think that this practice of getting in touch with local leadership is
Yeah.
key, because another thing that they can tell you about things that are coming online that you've not seen. So if I'm making this up because it happens all the time, right? So if Amazon is about to build some, distribution center,
they know.
something,
They
they
know.
know it. They know it's
Correct.
coming in 2 years because they're the ones, in charge of the permits, etc. So I think that kind of thing it's helpful.
Yes,
And
like
you're
what
able to
Peter
showcase
said,
that to your investors.
census sites, very important. You need to know the migration pattern, where people are moving to, and what is moving them. Not just where people are moving, because the way they are moving, they can move out. So why are they moving there? That is the question. Is it for a long time? Is it going to keep them there for long, or just for a short time? You need to know migration patterns. You need to know why it's happening.
Yep.
Sure. Thank you, ladies. Very good.
Absolutely. We're actually a little bit beyond 9. I don't know if there's anyone in the question. I do want to acknowledge a member of our asset management team that is on here, Dr. Holt.
Dr.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. So petty.
We have doctors. In short, majority of our team members are doctors. Yeah. And Dr.
healthcare.
Holt is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do want to ask if anyone has any question, asset management related, you're managing assets, you're new to this, anything at all that came to your mind while we were speaking before we wrap up here. Thank you, Dana, for coming. Dana, is this your first time? Where have you been? Sounding like he's about to hop off. Side-eyeing you, Dana.
Oh, no, Iffy, this is my first time with you guys hosting. This was excellent. Thanks. I remember you told me about the community. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
This was great.
You're welcome. You're welcome. This is our I think this is our 5th session. We've had 4 prior to this, correct? And I did a horrible job of telling you guys that all of these Zooms are recorded, and then they are placed on the Multifamily Freedom Chasers YouTube channel. I also did a horrible job of telling you guys, because I didn't even tell you, that we do have a WhatsApp group where if there are questions that come to you, feel free to throw them in there as well. Great way to connect with all the leaders are in that group. And then, there are other people that are doing deals that are in the group, etc. So
let me say this before you go. After the Thanksgiving, we'll be diving deep into communication. Communication is the bloodline of asset management. And communication is not just to the investors, to the lender as well. So we'll be diving deep into it, and Ify will be anchoring majority of it. I will just chime in as I deem fit. So we'll be discussing that for the next 1 month. And then before we move on to Transat is, now you have done all the things you need to do. Distribution, this is when we'll be talking about distributions. This is when we'll be talking about refinancing your properties. This one we're talking about exiting. So it's a full pack, everyone. I want you to stay tuned to our webinars, because we'll be introducing different things, and we always use sample cases. We use real life transactions that we're doing, or things we've done in the past, to present to you, so that we are not just saying this. We've gone through it. We've been there. we've done that, and you can also get there, because our hope is that everybody here becomes a professional. It's not compulsory that you become an active or an asset manager, but if you want to become consistently big, because we have some professional limited partners, they don't want to be active. This is good knowledge for you, so that you will know questions to ask your GPs when you are investing on your deals. Because if they don't know how to manage those deals, then you are putting your money in a basket, and I don't know, it will be lost. So it's very important for you to have and ask them this type of question, irrespective of if you want to be a GP, a general partner, or active or passive or not. It's this important knowledge for everyone to have, even for your own property. Let's say you just want to manage maybe your Airbnb or something. This is something you can also use for those type of investments as well. So thank you all.
Aaron doesn't think he's into asset management. I'm calling him out. He doesn't.
So you don't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be, but but he never can. I don't. Aaron, did you attend our first couple of Zooms where we talked about the different roles people can play?
Yes.
It's not just about front facing with property management companies.
Okay, no, am I on?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, no, this is my first time with you guys, and I'm real new to the industry. I just went to a 3-day thing with Multifamily Mindset with Tyler's group.
Tyler Dever.
And yeah,
Perfect.
so I'm really excited to get, all he's got. I go on a property tour in about a month, and they've got a big syllabus, man. I got so much work to do with them. But at the same time, I like to get some other voices, so I'm filling in some blanks and whatever and stuff that, may come up later somewhere else. But, my theory is I'm not waiting. I'm going to try to gather general knowledge, stuff it in there. I think, I took a note, I sort of see some parallel lines. I heard the thing about, the underwriting coming hand in hand with asset managers, and possibly those roles could kind of coincide. I see myself kind of more either in acquisitions and or fundraising. So I see those kind of being pretty complementary in a way. Kind of that, talkative, deal finder, just turn over some rocks, see what we find, kind of a thing. I don't mind doing some research. I actually think I could do any one of the roles, but I know there's so many roles. It's a team game, and pass the ball let somebody else shoot. They're open. Don't try to do it all yourself.
Exactly.
So I understand all of that. So this seems like a beautiful community. I saw something on Facebook somewhere about you guys doing this thing. So as soon as I saw it, I said, sign me up, and let's listen in. And it seems very valuable as far as, for me with such a blank page, let's get something on, let's get some paint on the canvas, let's figure it out. So, thank you.
Yeah, Aaron, thank you so much. Because I remember when I started with no knowledge, so I know what boat you are in, and I'm happy. You seem to me like someone that is you just want to dive into the pool and do what you got to do. I think you should do that. It's very, very important, because we've had people go through this process. In short, they've become grandmothers and grandfathers of webinars, but they don't take action. So what's important is you getting the knowledge and just putting it in your pocket. It doesn't make sense. So if you are, it's very important you get the knowledge and start implementing. So now that it's early for you, I would advise that you work with someone or people or a team of people that understand these things. I always say that don't look for someone that is far above you, because you might not really learn. You might not have the opportunity to learn. Look for people that are like 2 or 3 steps above you. Join hands with them, and that is the easiest and fastest way for you to learn. So I wish you good luck in your in whatever endeavor you want to do or take. So learn as much as you can, but do it. There's
Thank
different,
you.
there are two different things. Doing it and learning, you'll be surprised. It's just like this, like this. They're two different things.
Well, yeah, I totally agree. And I'm going to be an action man. In fact, I'm a little kind of chafing at the bit with, because their particular flavor of this deal has a high percentage of kind of personal growth built into the thing. So it's, maybe not quite as much get out there and do it, but they're trying to prepare you so that when you're there on a certain level, I'm like, I think I'm kind of okay if I can just figure out what to do when I get here and do it. So, that's kind of more like how I am. And I even asked them, I said, is it like a personality test to find out, like, if some people just want to sit and do all of this little stuff,
You are so right. It's a personality test. This will also actually tell you your limits or what you can even do. I've seen people that realize who they are from just being on a team in on a deal. Some people that never knew they could do this, the deal was able to bring out that gift from them. So it's a personality test. I'll tell you that for a fact. I remember when I was speaking with the accountant that I showed you that performed this, she was coming in, she wanted to do underwriting. And I told her, I said, you don't need to do underwriting. I don't see you as someone that should underwrite. I see you just as you are. You're an accountant. That's the skill you have. You don't do anything outside that. Just do that. And guess what? She's the one saving us from property management issues of discrepancies. So I've also seen lawyers on a call, and they tell me they want to underwrite or risk capital. I said, no, you are just good the way you are. They need that resource from you. The way you're a lawyer, we have a lot of paperwork and things cannot go wrong. So they need you on their team. People need people like you on their team and all that. So it's very important that we know that we carry a lot. But if we don't put ourselves to test, we might not actually know what gifts we have inside of us. So just step in, put your leg in the water, not just put your leg, go in your two legs, your hands, swim. But swim with a coach, swim with a friend, swim with a swimming jacket or a floater. If not, you will sink in it. I can assure you that. If you go alone, you'll sink in it. So that's the advice I'll give.
Beautiful, thank you.
Awesome. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for coming, and we will meet again in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. But I think between now and then, we're going to have an activation Zoom, December 3rd. So look out for that. We're gonna have an activation Zoom with Keely Hubbard, and beyond that, have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you for coming.
Bye, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy. Yo.